Hi, I'm Jules Vandermaat from Clinical EFT Connect, and I have Micki Rathjen here with me today. Welcome, Micki.
Hi, Jules. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So, I'm just doing this little series of interviews with people who've had some experience with clinical EFT or tapping, and it's just about everyday people talking about their experience of EFT, what it's helped them with. And so, Micki's been kind enough to agree to come on and share her experience. So, Micki, what would you say would be the main problem that EFT has helped you with?
Um, I think my biggest thing was stress management
Yeah.
and managing my anxiety about stress.
Hmm.
So, when I got introduced to the EFT, obviously through you, and I joined the Wise Women Who Tap, was my
Yeah.
very first experience. And I just was in a very stressful time in my life and lots of changes happening. And yeah, I think even after that very first session, I walked away going, "Oh, this is what I need."
Yeah, that's good.
It was good.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. And so, can you give us a bit of an idea? So, before you were introduced to EFT and started using it yourself, how was the stress and the stress about and the anxiety, how was it showing up for you in your kind of day-to-day life?
Oh, look, we moved house, which is always stressful.
Mm.
Um, and my husband retired from his job as part of that move. So that caused a lot of stress in our relationship.
Yeah.
Um, and also because of the job he retired from, he also has PTSD. So that
Yeah.
caused more stress in the relationship. And I think all of that was compounding. I was changing jobs, moving house, managing all of that. And one of the coping mechanisms was drinking. We were drinking a lot more than normal. Realized that's not a very good management tool. And I signed myself up for with a psychologist to do some talk therapy. And even though that has helped in some ways, I didn't feel I was resolving the issues myself. I don't know. Yeah, it was good to be able to debrief and talk to someone about things. And even though she gave me some strategies, just didn't feel like it was, yeah, it wasn't, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I was fully in control
Yeah.
of managing that stress. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, so coming across EFT was a game changer for me. And even though I do still do a bit of the talk therapy, it's yeah, the EFT is because it's on tap. It's there. I can control it. I can do it whenever. I can do it when I'm in bed or in the shower, in the car, and I just feel that it really helps manage those emotions and those feelings straight away.
Yeah, that's right. And I love that too. You don't need anyone. Once you know how to do it, it's like riding a bike, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
You can do it anywhere, anytime. It's free, it's natural, it's safe.
Yes. I don't have to wait for the appointment to talk about something. It's time to write
Mm.
things down, which are all still good strategies, but um, I just feel it really, yeah, the EFT really complements the stuff that I was, you know, the strategies I was being given. And
Yeah,
yeah, like I said, and it just brought those stress levels right down.
yeah, yeah. And so I guess you've kind of answered this, but what do you notice is different now that you do have EFT as a stress management tool in your daily life? Like how is the stressful situation different for you?
Um, I have thought about this because I tell everyone you need to do tapping. You
Yeah.
know, I'm one of the disciples that goes out and spreads the word. I think one of the biggest things is for me, it helped me identify when my stress levels are up and identifying the feelings, because that's one of those the talking that you do as part of the tapping, that's one of the things you have to do is identify how you're feeling and where you're feeling it in your body. So I'm automatically doing that now. I don't actually have to sort of think about it too much. Do you know what I mean? And so that's helping me recognize, right, I'm feeling stressed because of A, and it's in my body, that's B. So, and then I'm like, right, I know what I need to do. So I think being able to name it and identify it and then go, right, I know what to do, even having that I know what to do makes
Yeah,
me feel less stressed rather than, oh, it's all just too much, it's overwhelming, I can't handle it.
that's right.
Is that, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't you find like EFT, like there could be 7 things going on, and when you feel overwhelmed, it's hard to tell which one's the main, like that it's all overwhelming, isn't it? And
Yes,
then you do a
yes,
few rounds of tapping, even just silent tapping or tap and ran, and you go, actually, it's not this or this or this so much. This is the thing that's really bothering me,
yes,
right? Like that stuff is all just noise in the background, but this is the thing that I really need to focus on. And then
yes,
you can tap on that thing, like I need to have this conversation with that person. And
yes,
thinking about that makes me feel anxious, and I feel it in my stomach because I don't know how they're going to respond. So I just find that, yeah, doing just even those a little bit of tapping, even if it's just tap and rant, it's like putting it in a big sieve, and
yes,
all the sort of fluff falls out, and then
yes.
you're left with the thing that's the real issue that you actually need to focus on. Oh,
Yes, and I think that that helps me, it helps me feel like I have a sense of control. Where we
yeah,
have all the different things and it's the overwhelming feeling, that sense of I don't have any control over anything. Yeah, that's where I was before, and now I
yeah,
feel like it helps me feel like I have a sense of control
yeah,
over the where to next, or even just accepting.
yeah,
Like, I talked about my husband and what he's going through, and I think I was trying to save or fix
yeah.
where he needed to go through that healing process himself.
Mm.
And it just took me that process of going, actually, that's not in my realm of control. That's actually, why am I anxious and upset about that? When what I have to actually do is flip that and go, right, I support you to do that for yourself. So, yeah.
It helps us stay in our own lane, doesn't it, EFT?
Yes, thank you. That's exactly right.
Because
Yeah.
it does. It helps us identify that is affecting me because I live with that person, but I can't do much about it.
No, he has to go through that. And yeah, but I think when you're caught up in emotions,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't think clearly. It's just the emotions take over. So
Mm.
yeah, I think it helps. Well, we know that it helps bring that cognitive functioning back to
Yeah.
being able to reason and have rationale around things.
And, respond rather than react. Like when
Yeah.
we're just full of emotions and we're overwhelmed, we just react.
Yes.
When we tap and calm our amygdala down, and then our neocortex part of the brain, that problem solving part of the brain comes back online, and then we can actually think, actually, I just need to get a break, or I need to just sleep on this, and then I will
Yes.
talk about it tomorrow when I feel better or whatever it
Yes.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it sounds like you are regularly using EFT yourself.
I do, yes. And it's not I know you have there's like the morning ritual, and I don't necessarily practice that as a regular thing. But what I do, I probably tap every day, but it's usually it's my own personal debrief at the end of the day, because I often carry a lot of things home from work. Um, and I don't know if this is too much to share, but I usually do it in the shower.
Yeah.
That's my one place I don't get interrupted. There's no phones. There's no one talking to me. It's, the door's closed. Um, and I'll just focus on whatever it is that's been sitting with me. And it's my way of sort of, I don't know, cleansing the day's stress so that I can enjoy my evening.
Yeah.
Uh, or switching off, maybe. I'm not sure, but that's how I use it.
Excellent. Excellent. And so if you were talking to somebody, it sounds like you're talking to a lot of people and recommending EFT.
Yeah.
But if you were, if there was another teacher, for example, who was feeling very stressed with different things at work and home, would you recommend, like, what would you say to recommend EFT?
Oh, definitely. And well, you know that I've obviously recommended it to my staff here. So you know, as a principal, you've one of your biggest duties of care is to your staff, because you know they're your most important people. And you know, we were able to get you up, which was great for that one little session, and they're already screaming for more. um and I think not only being able to do the self-care, but I think having that level of understanding around how emotions, like you were talking about, react and respond, that's not just for adults, that's also for children. So it helps them be more understanding about how children are behaving and responding to things or reacting to things. And I think it's something teachers should have in their toolbox,
Absolutely.
not only for themselves, but with kids. And I think it's something we need to put into kids' toolboxes as well.
That's right. Because
Yeah.
a more regulated teacher will have a more regulated class, won't they?
Oh, definitely. And as you know, I mean, we've been doing learning around emotions, and the kids have been learning around about their amygdala, and that their lizard brain takes over when their emotions get so big. And I feel that introducing something like the EFT as one of their strategies
Yeah.
will just complement that toolbox of strategies that they can draw on, because you do get that, I won't say immediate, but you do get a very noticeable effect from the tapping.
And it
Uh,
is quick, isn't it? Like
it's
for most people,
yes,
pretty,
yes. It
pretty
takes
quick.
a few, I think it takes a few rounds, but I feel that you can definitely feel the before and after effects.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And with kids, that's what they need that. They don't
Yeah.
need 17 sessions before something actually starts to feel good. They don't have that.
No.
What was that?
And I think that, like seeing what the education that's happening at your school, it's like, that's great. Like, it's really good to teach that information about the brain and the nervous system, and all that's really important. But it's like, what do you do? Like, what's
Yes,
EFT is the tool, as you said, in terms of what you can actually do when you feel you're very
yes.
angry at someone because they stole your whatever. Yeah.
Mm.
And it does work quickly on kids, doesn't it? Like, wasn't it amazing to watch some of the kids, how well they responded to EFT?
Oh, they loved it. And I've still got one of my students who does the head hold. She goes, and she was going around and going, you need a head hold. I'll do the head hold. I know how to do it. I'm like, well, we need to ask permission before we grab someone's. But, you know, and especially if one of the other kids is a bit feeling, you know, anxious or upset, you can't just go up and grab their head. But it's just, she obviously really took to that tool, and she loved it.
Good. So
So yeah, it's good. And she obviously got that immediate
good.
feedback in her body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. So yes, we need to get you back.
Simple little things,
It
isn't it?
is simple little things, because a lot of the strategies kids have are, you know, count to 10, belly breathing, walk away, find a quiet corner, you know, listen to music, which are all good, but
It's
there's
just,
not a
isn't it?
they need the hands-on doing something for
Yeah.
themselves as
Yeah.
well.
Absolutely. And I think that's, yeah, a lot of what is sort of in the traditional system is about, yeah, to me, it feels like distraction. And like you said, like, there's a place for talk therapy and it's good for lots of things, but we come away feeling like I haven't resolved anything in myself. Whereas I feel like tapping, and the same with children, it helps deal with what's coming up in the moment. It
Mm,
deals with what's coming up in the moment, and it deals with it in the moment. And then
yes,
often they just, off they go.
gone. Yes, and it
And-
puts you in control. Where the
Yeah,
talk therapy, and I'm not, I mean, like I said, I still go, and I still believe in it for the purpose that it serves.
yeah,
Um, but you're putting that responsibility into someone else's hands. I mean, it's like seeking out the experts, like going to the doctor, I guess.
yeah,
I can treat myself for certain things, And that's
Yeah.
great. But when it's something a bit beyond my expertise, I go to the doctor. And I feel like that the talk therapy, some of those things are beyond my expertise. So I go to the professional for advice. But in my day-to-day,
Yeah.
I'm able to self-manage
Oh,
that other
absolutely.
stuff. Do you know what, does that make
Oh,
sense?
absolutely. And Gary Craig, who created EFT, that's what he wanted. That was the intention, that the everyday person learn your body is designed to be able to regulate itself, but we
Yep.
just need to know what to do to help that process happen. So
Yeah. So it's like keeping
yeah,
your body healthy. It's a bit like, so I don't have to go to the doctor. I'll look after my body and keep it nice and healthy.
yeah, that's great. All right, thank you, Micki. That's been really helpful to have that little conversation. I'm sure lots of people will get a lot out of it. So thank you.
So thanks for having me.